544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a
serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
GhanaTalks Radio, #1.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
It's a beautiful morning and you are welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is the news headline review. Right here we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news. From business to politics, from sports to entertainment, we got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on issues that matter to you every morning right here on the show. I am your host, Ruth Esinam Fiagbedu, and I'll be doing this with Miss Deborah Adoso and Miss Regina Bless. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Grace is sufficient.
We thank God. Hope you slept well.
Yeah, I did. Just that I wasn't satisfied.
Oh, sorry. sorry. Miss Regina?
Yeah,
you were satisfied?
I did.
Ah, she said she was satisfied with her sleep. Then maybe she slept early, I guess. Yeah, or maybe her night was longer. And ours was shorter because the night was shorter for me today. Yeah, right. Let's dive into the news stories we have this morning. No basis to remove EC chair. Deputy's Chief Justice tells Mahama. The Chief Justice, Paul Bafo Boni, has determined that there is no prima facie case to justify further investigations into petitions seeking the removal of the Electoral Commission chairperson, her deputies, and the special prosecutor. According to a statement from the presidency dated February 18, 2026, President John Dramani Mahama referred 7 petitions calling for the removal of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, Jane Mensah, and her 2 deputies. 3 additional petitions were also filed, seeking the removal of the special prosecutor, Kisi Ejabem. The referral was made in line with Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution and Section 15 of the Office of the Special Prosecutor at 2017 at 959. Which requires the Chief Justice to determine whether a prima facie case exists before any further removal proceedings can begin. The petitions were referred to the Chief Justice on November 23, 2025. In a letter dated January 26, 2026, the Chief Justice informed the President that the petition did not establish a prima facie case to warrant further investigations or removal proceedings. The statement announcing the decision was signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, spokesperson to the President and Minister for Government Communications. The development effectively brings closure at this stage to effort to remove the Electoral Commission chairperson, her deputies, and the special prosecutor. So this is the new development to this particular case that has to do with some petitions that were filed by some people for the removal of the chief of the EC, her 2 deputies, and OSP. Also the OSP, right? And then after investigation and going into the issue that was submitted to the Chief Justice, they realized that there were no prima facie case in there. So due to that, that brings closure to this particular case. So the petition, those are the results that came in. Miss Debbie.
Yeah, so this thing of we not getting enough evidence to prosecute people is becoming too much, because if the CJ is saying that there is no prima facie case, then he's trying to say that there is no, we don't have enough evidence to prove that these people are found guilty or culpable of the claims that have been leveled against them. So I feel like this whole thing of we not getting enough evidence is becoming too much. And so, well, somebody has filed a petition that maybe I have seen Q engaging in some act that is very dubious, and then I bring out an evidence, and you feel like the evidence is not enough. I feel like the state should do more. Like there should be more investigation into it to find out that is this person really culpable, because you can't tell me that the people who died during the election died out of their own carelessness. No, this is the responsibility of somebody, and the responsibility was the responsibility of the Electoral Commission, Jane Mensah. We saw irregularities in pink sheets and all that, and all this was headed by Jane Mensah. So if something should go wrong, she should be questioned.
Looking at all these things that you just mentioned that all was leveled against her, do we have evidence, videos, pictures, or whatsoever, or any documentation that prove that indeed is due to maybe her incompetence, that is why so and so had to happen?
It is due to her incompetence. Okay, for the videos and pictures, I do not have a video of her doing that though, but then we've seen instances where even an employee from EC's office petitioned the president. It should tell you that alone should be enough evidence that shows that this woman is indeed, involved in all this stuff. I'm saying this because, see, if you are being appointed to head an office and there is something not going on, you will be questioned, because that is your office. So everybody is looking up to you that you do the right thing. If we find out that pink shade, we saw during the 2024 election where pink shade that was meant for, let's say, Anya DA primary A was given to Anya DA primary C, and then you're telling me that this is the fault of who? It's the fault of EC. The EC do not move from police station to police station, but she works with people. She has branches that works with her. So if things are laid properly well, the branches are supposed to work on her behalf, because trust me, if the branches should work well, they are not going to congratulate you as a person, but they are going to congratulate Jane Mensah because she did her work well. But if we don't see these things, then it means that Jane Mensah is not doing her work well. And so we saw instances where like a lot of things happen, this violence, every day be ever conducting election, there is always violence, there is always people, parties complaining of this, of complaining of that. So all these things are things that needs to be taken into consideration. So as I said, if a whole employee from EC is petitioning the president, it should tell you that there is more to that.
But if a whole employee from EC is petitioning the president for the removal of her boss, if she doesn't provide any substantive reason as to why she should be removed, I don't think there will be, in as much as we've seen that this is what the person has done, but if you don't provide the necessary or accurate evidence that amounts to that person's removal, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. So we can also say that that person was also maybe jealous, or maybe wants to
jealous.
That is how it could be.
Jealous of what? Jealous of her position.
It could be or something. Maybe she wants to fill up that space.
So let's imagine you've been employed and you're not doing your work, and then somebody goes to complain to management that you're not doing your work. So are you trying to say that the person is jealous of you just because the person wants to take you off and take your position? No.
These are human beings you are dealing with.
I know we are dealing with humans, okay? I know we are dealing with humans, and no matter how you try your best, there will still be someone that will find fault with what you do. But trust me, this is for me, this is a whole evidence on its own. And this is not the first case that we are dealing with that has to do with we not having enough evidence. And then evidence beyond the yes happening. Until where it should be there. We will continue like that. That is what we want, because see, everyone is tired. Even people are calling for the removal of EC. And then Chief Justice. So what about for
but if there's nothing,
I understand him.
But if there's nothing, there's nothing.
So he is saying that the prima facie this thing that they presented to him as a docket is not vivid enough. So automatically the evidence is not solid enough to prove that woman guilty. Say she has a hand in that, and also to prove OSP. Oh, but if OSP.
What has the OS on the issue of the OSP? What has the OSP done wrong?
Oh, come on! Are you trying to grow more money into my mouth? You don't know what happened in this country. Why did you see the work of the OSP? OSP office has been established for how many years now? We've not seen him prosecuting anybody. the only thing OSP keeps complaining is that his office is not well resourced, one, and two, in a way, his office is being intruded by political affairs.
And that is affecting his work.
That is affecting his work, but even with that, the government is trying its possible best to ensure that these things do not happen.
So if they bring
they are paying you every month, so what are you doing? That is the case.
So do you want Ekisi Ejaben to be dismissed, or you want the office to be dismissed?
For me, I wanted the office to be scrapped and what's the name? Kisi Ejaben, dismissed from his work. That is because we are not seeing what he's doing. And then we have a lot of agencies that are working equally doing same. We have Yoko, we have Shraj, they added oral team. We have even the Auditor General does similar thing. And then OSP is there. And so I feel like there is conflict of is it a conflict of interest. You get it? You understand me?
No, I get it. But let's look at the performance of the previous OSP, which is it
Martin Amidu.
What did we also see?
Well, with Martin Amidu's case, he was quiet. He performed a bit well, but not too much. I didn't really pay attention.
Was he able to prosecute people?
No, I'm not sure.
And so
for that, like I didn't really follow him on like he be the OSP and that. It feels like immediately Kisi Ejapin came in, all attention went to him because as on no bet name one MP before I shall say move it.
Is it because he was appointed by the administration? That is why all eyes are on him.
By the MPP.
Yes.
Even Martin Amidu was appointed by.
Was also appointed.
Yes.
Or we had a high expectation of the current OSP.
Yes. Yes. That was it. So if every day we keep saying that the evidence are not solid enough, yes, I know the law is the law. Okay, you cannot just wake up and then feel like I want to prosecute this person when I fully know that I don't have enough evidence to hold this person guilty or to hold this person as a culprit involved in such a crime. That is what the law states. So with the Chief Justice, I don't have a problem with the declaration he made, though. But what I'm trying to say that this thing of we not having enough evidence to prosecute someone is becoming too much. Every time we have election, there people are dying. Every time we have election, there been irregularities and all these things. Look at what is happening at Pandai. Where fault.
So going forward, what do you want the government to do about this? Because
you should sack her.
That is closure.
You should sack her.
They've closed the case.
I'm not saying because they sacked MPP sacked Charlotte or say so NDC should also sack Jane Mensah. But what we are saying is that if a person is occupying a position and the work of the person is not encouraging enough, you give the person time, right, to see if the person will improve. If the person doesn't improve, what do? You bring in a different person. My dad would say there is no harm in trying. You try another person and see. You get it? But well, I'm not in the pocket of the government. I'm not in the pocket of the CJ, and so whatever the government does, I feel like it is in our own good. But then I also saw that they said that President Mahama will be giving directive for the next step in this particular case. So until you are waiting.
Right. Miss Regina.
Yeah. So I would say that when it comes to this issue, first off, when it comes to the law, they deal with evidence and not, I'll say fact and evidence, and not should I use emotional sentiment. Maybe how you feel towards the person is not the right way to go about the issue. And I also believe that before you present your petition, you need to make sure that you give concrete evidence so that at the end of the day, the person who is going through all the files would at least pinpoint, say, oh, this is what you are standing on, to make sure that this person is being taken off. And also, we all know that when we talk about petition, it doesn't mean automatic removal. At the end of the day, the president gives the petition to the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice set up a committee. They investigate it. So at the end of the day, whatever verdict that comes out, they present it back to the president so that he gives the final verdict. When we talk of EC, we know that one or two ways we've seen her incompetency. As she said, a polling station is having another polling station's pink sheet, which is not supposed to be so. I can't remember 2024 elections when she was reporting. I think Kaswa there about to say, is it McCarthy or say Wager? Debbie, where you did your reporting, was it McCarthy?
Yeah, McCarthy Wager to Kaswa.
They were voting with another polling station pink sheet, and at the end of the day, I say vote no more yenina ayakwa. And why are you going to find these people to call them so they should come back and come and vote again? It doesn't make sense. I know that when it comes to your job as an EC, it's difficult. It entails a lot. But you have many years ahead to prepare for that said major elections. So with her incompetency, I feel like there's no excuse for that. And she needs to be punished for that. And also with the elections violations and election violence that happen, that one too, she needs to be accounted. She needs to come out and explain.
With the issue of Bandai also.
But you see, and also Interior Minister, I think starting of this year, came out to tell us that one particular constituency like that, I don't know, maybe if you know, there was an issue that happened there, violence, I think people died. He came out, or was it the Kaswa issue? I think it was the Kaswa.
Is it Senya?
Where they butchered someone.
And he came out to tell us that no one was associated to that.
Yeah, that was the current MP for...
is it a woman?
The woman.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Is it Natoshi or something?
Q.
Let's proceed.
Current MP
Koyo.
for Kaswa. Koyo.
Koyo.
Right.
She came out to say that no one was associated to that violence. Seriously. And I don't know, but it looks like now in this country, everyone has the right to do what they want. At the end of the day, you can even... I always say that if you let someone kill you, that person has killed you for free. You can for free because justice will not prevail. And also to OSP. OSP has been in existence for how many years now? A lot of years, 8 years, getting to almost a decade, 10 years. We've not seen his good works. The only thing he keeps on doing is updating the people. We are not saying that we don't want updates. Updates is good, but give us updates with tangible results. Updates with enough evidence that you can prosecute this person. They be with the assembly courts now. In Kofu, they will come back and sue you again. In fact, where is it done in this country? In fact, in any institution or in any country, that a state government or a state institution would take someone to court, and at the end of the day, they are being sued back.
But wait, do you think this could also be a strategy, not for them to people to get things to talk about, for the fact that these people came into power, they dismissed the chief justice, and now, because people have been calling for the removal of the EC
so for a very long time,
and then due to that, because this is what people are saying, so they are going to dismiss. Or do you think they just overlook certain things and just allow her to be there, waiting for her to do something maybe then unforgiving?
Well, no, all the petty things she has done is unforgiving. Once it's not a mistake, but once it repeats itself twice, it's a mistake. For her, the thing she has done it more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And she keeps on.
8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10. You will be here, another election will come, she will fail.
Well, we have another by-election coming up.
We are here.
So let's see how it goes. But for this particular case, for the removal of the EC and her 2 deputies and the OSP, that case has been closed. Now we have closures with that. Yeah, just like that. Or maybe could it be that the people didn't provide the evidence?
They didn't provide enough evidence.
Could it be so?
It could be so. They too also call cast my own cast because
because Debbie mentioned that someone in her office.
Yes.
So if really someone in her office wants her removal, I feel like that person should even have advantage to more evidence to why they are standing on that ground to
From
remove
our
her.
own perspective, we will say things that we feel like it's okay, but trust me, before I present a case to court, I will ensure that I have enough evidence. Until that evidence gets to court, before I'll get to know that the evidence which I see to be enough is not enough.
It's not enough.
So no one goes to court without enough evidence. The person goes to court with an assurance that the evidence is presented to the court is enough. But unless you get there for the CJ or for the judge to tell you that whatever you brought on board
It's not tangible.
it's not tangible. Yes. So we can't.
When they say it's not
they need solid
evidence,
like concrete one.
Concrete,
So
vivid
it's
one.
like me, excuse me to say, me threatening to say I'll kill you, and at the end of the day, let's say like 3 months, God forbid, you are dead. Now, anyone who knows that I said that, they can take me on. They can arrest me, but that is not concrete evidence that I killed you.
But you threatened me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So at least if you would have gotten even if you get a video of her even saying that I'll kill you, cry,
They will still tell you
we
that
still
it's
need
to
see
not
you in
concrete.
the
We want
act.
evidence that she's in the act.
She's in the
Right.
act. She's
Right.
doing it. Exactly.
I get it. So maybe it could. Anyway, if you
So
think you have
I
a better,
feel like sometimes it's good to, personally, you don't have to be a lawyer, but you should know some basic tips
Yeah.
about law and this whole issue about criminal law and all that. Is good for your own
Safety.
yeah,
safety.
for
But
education.
for education is also important. But one thing is, when persuasion fails, force will be
Force
applied.
must be applied. Right. Let's move on to our next story. Abu Jinapor calls for urgent cocoa sector reforms. The Member of Parliament for Damango Samo, Abu Jinapor, has called for urgent reforms in Ghana's cocoa sector, citing serious challenges facing the farmers and the broader industry. Mr. Jinapor compared Ghana's cocoa performance with neighboring Cote d'Ivoire, noting that both countries have similar population size and dominate global cocoa production. He said, although Ghana is known for producing premium quality cocoa, farmers are currently receiving lower producer prices than their counterparts in Cote d'Ivoire. According to him, Cote d'Ivoire has managed to maintain relatively stronger producer prices despite facing similar global pressure, including international prices fluctuations and external economic shocks. He argued that the contrast raises important questions about domestic policy decision and the management of Ghana's cocoa sector. The Damango MP also expressed concern over what he described as one of the most significant reductions in cocoa producer prices in Ghana's post-independence history, dating back to 1957 under Kwame Nkrumah. He urged the government to take responsibility and adopt a more responsive and informed approach to cocoa management, stressing the need for transparency in cocoa trading, sound financial decisions, and policies that prioritize farmer welfare. Right. Whilst you proceed, Ms. Regina, can you check out the price for cocoa in Cote d'Ivoire for me?
Okay.
Right.
The price
Yeah.
2,800, approximately
And
3,600.
In Cote d'Ivoire.
And
Ghana is
Ghana is
2,587.
so we have a difference of about 300 Ghana cedis.
So in a way, Cote d'Ivoire price is higher than Ghana.
It's higher than Ghana.
So where do they smuggle the cocoa to and gain like 8,000 to 10,000 Ghana cedis?
They have
They have places.
Yes, they have places. Even on the international market, they still have people they sell to. Yes. Even the Burkina Faso we are talking about, we can't say that they don't smuggle their cocoa out. They do.
But if you are caught
think-
there, you'll be dealt with.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
sometime
with my
ago-
own cocoa.
was it on Monday? I came across a news that they said they have what's the name? They have a lot of cocoa like overboard. Now let me say
Abroso.
abundance of cocoa, and so
Right, that's
they just have to sell it at a lesser price. And then when it's happening like that, the farmer is losing, because when they sell it at a lesser, it's just like the same thing we are experiencing here. When they sell it at a lesser price on the international market, they will run at loss. and so the amount the farmer is supposed to take will now be decreased. So if the farmer is supposed to take like 2,000 or 3,000, you now be taking something lesser than that. So in a way, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana are still, struggling with these things, but
price.
Ghana is far better than Cote d'Ivoire because their price is higher than ours.
But in Cote d'Ivoire also, they are facing the same situation with the abundance of cocoa you mentioned. And in Ghana also, we have abundance of cocoa, but we are not also getting buyers because of the competition.
Yes.
Because people are even selling us at a lesser price because of the
so
global
you see where the
market
problem
price.
is.
Yes.
Cote d'Ivoire is saying that they have abundance of cocoa, so they are selling it at a lesser price. So they are now getting more customers, but the farmers are struggling because they are not going to get the money they are supposed to get. And then when you come to Ghana, our farmers are also complaining because the president promised them 6,000, and then last year he was giving them somewhere like 3,000, and this year the government is saying that he's reducing it to somewhere 2,000, and they are complaining.
So did they adopt that strategy from Cote d'Ivoire?
Well, I can't say yes, I can't say no, but most often when it has to do with this business sort of thing, you learn from other countries that are thriving in such sectors, and then use it as a guideline for your country.
This is from Abuja, or say into our farmers now.
They should pay them.
So today they came with violence.
I'm not the one who is here.
So is the minority trying to say that the reforms that were provided by the cabinet through their meeting are not better enough to sort out the issue we have with the cocoa sector?
Just this morning, the news headlines I read, he said that I said it's unacceptable. They should reverse that price and pay them with the initial payment. And they just say Afenyo making a 2 month salary, he should forfeit it.
Yeah, in my head.
And bring it. You see,
I was going
because
to say
the management, the cocoa management, they've slashed their salary.
They are going to be making 5 million out of that slash.
See,
I think it will go a long way.
So they should take it to parliament too. Most of them people sitting there, they are just dormant MPs. No, it's true.
Calm down.
When we talk about dormant, dormant person, a lot of people. How many people do you see talking? If it's not Afenyo, his deputy, majority leader,
deputy,
chief whip, and this MP. Dafia Mekbo and the farmer, the deputy agriculture minister, Dumelo.
You see,
I can count the people who speak there.
I think when you go to parliament, they have rules and they have front benches. The front benches are people who talk for
the people at the back
for their caucus. Yes. So it's just like when you go to court, we have jury who decide on whether a person that the judge is dealing with is a culprit or not. But even with that, there is one person that deal with that issue, and that has to do with the judge or the lawyer who is standing in for the culprit. But the jury sits behind as if they are not part of it, but they are part of it. They are listening to what is going on, and after that, they also write their report. They write their report on whether this person is guilty of it or not. So I feel like when you go to parliament, it's still the same. You have them down. They don't talk because they are not. Let me say the front liners. It's only the front liners that talk. If you want to talk, when talking your constituency.
But they are MP. You are MP for your constituency, so you are trying to tell me that as MP for your constituency,
because I'm
you
not
don't have
But
any.
it doesn't mean they don't lobby. They lobby, they lobby, but just that when it has to do with proceedings of parliament, how will I even put it? It's like you being in a group.
They have a section that they allow all MPs on board to voice out.
Yes, a MP journalist.
It's just like we have a group. Okay, we are working here, but we have manager. We all cannot stand up and be calling management and be saying things, but we communicate everything to manager. Manager speak on our behalf. So that's the same thing with this caucus thing. That's why you have the majority leader, you have the deputy majority leader, and the D'Souza chief whip at the back. So all these people. So look at them. They are sitting in front, they are the front liners, so they speak on behalf, and they are just issue of few constituency. So after the majority leader describe highlight on that issue, then you will bring
your issue on board,
or you add up to what the majority leader said. So I feel like that is the whole issue. But
one thing I feel like as we are all saying, the way the senior staffs and the CEO board, the Cocoa board CEO, they've slashed their salary. They should take it to Parliament because they're taking like 15,000 plus. They have allowances. Better still, the same way when John Dramani Mahama came, he cancelled DSTV in Jubilee House. He should take it to Parliament and cancel certain things just for the cocoa sector
to save money.
And they should take it to all government workers.
Nti abu saying the certain allowance. I was saying.
We have voted myself, but not maybe I say my own just certain allowance.
Wow.
Full allowance.
I'm surprised all of these banters are coming from the minority after
Political
what
gimmick.
we saw.
It's a political gimmick, but I feel like
look at Brian Champo as agriculture minister.
Our cocoa farmers should wake up, okay? You see, these politicians are taking their vulnerability as a stance to ruin their own work and what they are doing. Because you've experienced the MPP before. How many times did they even respond to you? The other day I was saying that if not for NDC, in Miracle Abuaji be fan the car free hako cocoa foam. Ako jina also only cocoa farmers kasa. No. But it's because they want something. They want to portray a good image in your site to make you feel as if yes, we are good.
They have one campaign message, mind you.
That is cocoa.
Which is the cocoa?
That you see yesterday when the NO came here, he started with cocoa. They don't have any message. The only thing they have now is the cocoa in Galamsey. So when you meet MPP communicator, listen to them. Even when we are bringing in a different issue, they will divert it to cocoa in Galamsey.
And no corruption still.
Or say Galamsey. They don't have anything, but you've forgotten that you failed. You failed woefully. You couldn't do anything.
Right.
So if somebody comes to you and the person is telling you that maybe I come to you and I'm telling that Regina is not good. If I feel like I'm good, then I should do what I was expecting her to do and she didn't do it.
So as of now, what should the MPP be doing? Should they be sympathizing?
They should give their salary to them.
If you can't help with an issue,
keep
you
quiet.
Shut up.
Guys.
You should be part
true.
of a solution and
It's
not
true.
part of a problem.
Yeah, it's true. See,
But mind you, we need a stronger opposition to put the government on their toes.
See, this opposition is
it that they are not
overstepping
doing
their
it well?
boundaries. They're overstepping their boundaries because see, the government is doing its best. Oh, Senkaye, former President Akufo-Addo on few. Me, I won't hide on few. He wouldn't even come out to address your concern. But so if the government should even meet stakeholders and even meet Cocoa Board to deliberate on that issue alone, should tell you that the government have you at heart. If the government promised you 6,000, the government was able to give you 3,000. It should tell you that if the economy stabilize, you even get more than that 6,000. Yeah. That is why he will always tell you that you have short memory as Ghanaians, and it's true. Someone will see someone and tell you that the president Odi Atem, but he's saying the truth. We have short memories.
That one there is true.
So we can't even remember what the MPP did to us, and then we are trying to. I think Accra say it's just like when God took the Israelites from Pharaoh to the land of gold and milk. They were complaining. You see, that is how we are. In a second of when we find ourselves in trouble, we forget about what God has done for us for the past 30 years. Amen. And that is how we are as Ghanaians. So we need to change from here.
To where?
We should change here, no? Else, and these MPPs, these MDCs, these politicians will take us for granted.
Yeah. We need to be open-minded. Let's move on.
Girl.
We are reviewing mining laws to empower local firms. President John Dramani Mahama says his administration has begun a comprehensive review of Ghana's mining laws and regulatory systems to strengthen local participation in the sector. Speaking at the 2026 Mining Sector Local Contest Summit held at Palms by Eagle in Takoradi yesterday, the president said the reforms are aimed at ensuring Ghanaian companies benefit more meaningfully from the country's mineral wealth. According to him, the government wants indigenous firms to move beyond being peripheral suppliers and become key industrial players. He said Ghanaian businesses should be able to manufacture machinery produce critical components, and develop technological solutions to support the mining industry. He explained that the review will examine existing mining laws and regulatory frameworks, bottlenecks that limit local participation, investment incentives within the sector. He said the goal is to ensure that policies promote industrial growth rather than reinforce dependency on foreign expertise and imports. The president also indicated that mining firms will be incentivized to build genuine local capacity. He stressed that equity, participation, technology transfer, and knowledge sharing should become standard practice, not expectation. He also noted that the reforms form part of a wider economic transformation agenda to deepen value addition across key sectors, including mining, agriculture, and manufacturing. He said empowering domestic firms in the mining ecosystem would help create jobs, retain more mineral revenue within Ghana, stimulate industrial development, and build local technical expertise. So yesterday there was an event, a summit held in Takoradi, and these are some of, the reforms they are going to be bringing on board in the mining sector. Ms. Eugenia?
Yeah.
Your thought?
Okay, so I'll say it's a good thing. I'll take it from this point where industrial players are capable of producing machinery, equipment, and technological solutions that supports the mining sector. In fact, when it comes to Ghanaians, should I say the best thing we know how to do is people spoon feeding us. We always want to be taught how to eat the fish and not how to be taught how to
farm for it. Fish farming.
Fish
or catch it.
How to catch it.
The English is not English this morning.
How to catch it. Because when it comes to the mining sector, we all can testify that they need a lot of equipment. And those equipment are being shipped into the country. First off, when it's being shipped into the country, they pay duties, they pay a lot of things. And at the end of the day, they say, gold now, no, they take it back into where they imported those machines for them to refine it. But thank God that now we are refining our thing ourselves. Me am crash me. And also, I would say that it's should I say it's important to make sure that they create more jobs. It's very important to create more jobs, because tell me why we are youth in Ghana. Oh, tell me why as youth in Ghana, as youth in Ghana, we are finding it difficult to find jobs, to create more jobs for ourselves. So it's a good thing, and it's a good step in the right direction.
Right.
I'll come back.
I think we need English breakfast this morning.
This morning the English is not English.
It's not your language. Why you adopted it? Feel free, any way you speak it, we understand. Miss Debbie.
Yeah, so I also think he said local participation in the sector to ensure that Ghanaian benefits more meaningfully from the country's mineral wealth. So with this particular one, we've seen instances where mining companies come into the country, sign contracts with the government, and then it goes into these communities to mine. But the community does not benefit from those companies. So you go to a community where they brag of having gold and diamond and all that, but the community is very poor. No school, no hospital, the roads are bad and all that. But they are mining gold from that community. So I feel like if a community, they've noticed or pinpoint a gold in a particular community, and then you are destroying, in a way, you are destroying their water bodies and all that to acquire that gold. There should be a compensation, and this compensation must go into road construction, must go into building schools, must go into providing basic amenities like the toilet facilities and all the stuff. So this helps the community. But sometimes it's sad because you go to these communities and they are lacking behind. There is a whole company that is mining, and then the country as a state is benefiting from those goods because it generates revenue for us as a country. But the people within that community are poor because they're not getting what they are supposed to get, the benefit they are supposed to get from that mining company. So I feel like it's very, very good with that particular part. If you're mining gold from a particular community, we should ensure that that community is well developed. At least, a Kwana Moody Gold Nefasono, it should be taught. There should be schools, if not hospital, quite chips compound. And you see, most of the times, legal companies or companies who go through the rights process are the ones who ensure that they build schools and all that, because you sign a contract with the government and this is what the contract is stating. When you mine gold, this is what you're supposed to provide for the community, but also do it illegally. They do it without compensating this community, and rather the money goes to the chiefs and they use it for a pet instead of using it to develop the community. So it's very, very
right. Looking at the reforms brought on board by President John Dramani Mahama, they are good ones. Right. Thank you so much for joining us on the news headline review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you today in history on this day, 1990, Nelson Mandela being issued his first passports. His first passports, or official South African passports, was issued on this day, just 8 days after his release from 27 years of imprisonment. This document enabled him to travel globally to campaign for the African National Congress and secure financial backing for the democratic transition. Aaron Burr arrested for alleged treason. Former U.S. Vice President Aaron Burr was arrested in Alabama on this day, 1807, on charges of treason following allegations he conspired to raise a private army to conquer Spanish territory and separate Western states from the Union. Despite President Jefferson's efforts to convict him, Burr was acquitted on September 1, 1807, as the prosecution failed to prove an overt act of war as required by the Constitution. FDR orders Japanese Americans into internment camps. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 1966, authorizing the forced removal and incarceration of approximately 120,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were U.S. citizens, from the West Coast into 10 inland relocation centers. Driven by wartime hysteria, this action led to the loss of homes, businesses, and liberty for 3 years, with detainees facing harsh conditions under armed guard. To some global observances, International Tug of War Day. To promote the sport globally, encouraging teamwork, strength, and camaraderie through the historic simple game of pulling a rope. It highlights both casual, recreational play and structured competitive matches organized by federations like the Tug of War International Federations. National Lashes Day. It is dedicated to honor, enhance, and care for both natural and false eyelashes. Founded to celebrate the artistry of lashes, this day encourages experimenting with new looks, investing in lash health, and utilizing special promotions from beauty brands on mascara, serums, and extensions. So I'm doing well to observe the day with my artificial lash. Lastly, Prevent Plagiarism Day. to raise awareness about the ethical, academic, and professional dangers of presenting others' work as one's own. The day encourages originality, proper citation, and integrity in writing and ideas, often promoting the use of detection tools to prevent both intentional and unintentional theft of intellectual property. This goes to journalists. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Thank you to you, Global Observer. You're observing the last day. Debbie's Girl.
Welcome to Debbie's Girl, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear or favor. Tomato traders and importers in Accra are warning of a potential shortage and sharp increase in tomato prices unless government urgently invest in local irrigation infrastructure to boost domestic production. They argue that such an investment will reduce Ghana's dependence on imports from Burkina Faso, a trade route that has become increasingly dangerous and will direct funds currently spent abroad to strengthen local agriculture and protect livelihoods. The warning comes in the wake of recent terrorist attack in Burkina Faso, which claimed the lives of 8 Ghanaians and left several others injured. The incident has disrupted cross-border tomato supply chains and exposed the growing risk of over-reliance on import. Esther Owusu-Ansai, tomato importer with more than 30 years of experience, says traders may soon stop traveling to Burkina Faso altogether if adequate security is not guaranteed. She explained that while escorts are often arranged up to Paga, the journey beyond remains uncertain. Another trader stressed that Ghana must invest in irrigation systems and dams to support tomato farming locally. So, in the course of last week, we had a very bad news that traders who are into tomato were attacked in Burkina Faso by terrorists, of which we lost 8 traders, and then we have several of them being injured. But yesterday they were brought back into the country and they have been admitted in the hospital. I saw footages of the president heading to the hospital to pay them a visit and also comfort them and compensate families who lost their loved ones. Now, tomato traders are saying that if we don't take time, a time will come where the prices of tomato will surge or will increase because they are not going to risk their life again. And I wasn't surprised when I saw this. Immediately I heard about this Burkina Faso issue. The first thing that came in mind was very soon we are going to buy tomato at a very expensive, price. Because as it stands now, you can even get one tomato is being sold at 5 cedis. So imagine we not getting the opportunity to import tomato into the country again. Then it means the rate at which we'll buy tomato as 10 cedis or 15 cedis is likely possible. Now, my problem is we have the land. We have farmers who are into tomato. And they are farming it. So what is our problem? Why do we go to other countries to import tomato into the country? While we have farmers who are into it. We plant tomato in Ghana. Would it be bad if we also start exporting our tomato outside the country? No. No. We are not doing the right thing. We are not putting things in its right position. And that is why we see ourselves here today. I can remember some time ago, the same farmers were complaining that they harvest a lot of tomato, but at the end of it, the customers who come to purchase their tomato are very less. And then we don't even have a warehouse where they can store this tomato. And so at the end of the day, the farmers run at loss. and then we end up importing tomato into the country. Imagine we have the factories, we have everything. Even this is raw tomato. This is not processed tomato. It's raw. We can as well inquire or get tips from other countries how they go about their tomato, because I was told that Burkina Faso tomato has a different taste than that of Ghana. So we can as well, communicate with them, because we have a cordial relation with Burkina Faso. We can as well ask them how they go about in planting their tomato, so that we can use to improve on ours. Even onion we import, pepper we import. Akanchene, salt, we also start importing. Even we are importing salt. The more reason why this whole issue is becoming a headache is that we are blessed with everything. In fact, we have people who are into pepper farming, tomato, onion, and all those veggies. But at the end of it, we still end up importing. What is our problem? For some time now, we've been saying that it would be good if we have industries that process this tomato. We have our own paste. Then we produce it locally. And then we enjoy our own, with veggies, but we don't. We always prefer veggies from other countries. Veggies like carrots, even cabbage, we import them. But we have farmers in Ghana that are into carrot farming. We have farmers in Ghana that are into cabbage farming. But we don't. And sometimes most of these traders discourage you. They'll tell you that, whether if Burkina Faso or Papa, so in a way they're trying to tell you that, Ghana's own is not good enough. But you're the one selling it. So I feel like what the government needs to do now is for us to have more factories. And then when we have factories, we have factories that are going to process these raw materials into finished goods. It's going to help us. When we get that, then the government can go ahead and then buy this raw products from the farmers in a large quantity. When we buy it from them in a large quantity, then it will now be processed into finished good in these factories. But when we don't do that, we will continue, tangling around. It's like a square pegs in round hole. Trying to fit in places where we don't belong. And trust me, it's painful, because your mom will tell you that, it is something that we used to do. This is not the first time we have traders going to Burkina Faso to import tomato. But this time around, it's a different thing. And I feel like the issue with terrorism, we should take it serious. For me, when I saw this, I knew it's a trap for Ghana. It's a trap because we are being surrounded by neighboring countries that in one way or the other have tasted the plot of this terrorist before. So it's just a trap. They want us to take a move. Then they can evade. So this issue with terrorism and all that is something that we need to take serious as a country. This is not something we should joke with. Because as it stands now, traders are scared to move out of the borders of Ghana. What if they also go and they don't come back? Even the ones who survived, how sure are we that they are going to stay for a longer period of time? How sure are we? And sometimes I don't know what is wrong with us as Ghanaians. I don't know what is wrong with our leaders. I don't know whether we should use nail and hammer to hit their head and then pump certain things into it. Because tell me why we have everything and we still do not have the capacity and the capability to process these raw materials, which we know it will help us. Imagine 90% of the things we consume is locally produced in Ghana. We wouldn't even have problem with, the city to the dollar, everyday quarreling and all this stuff. No. But it's because we have this notion that anything made in Ghana, it's not good. Anything made in Ghana is not something that's last. The most annoying part is when they import these things into the country, it's being sold at a cheaper price. And then our own locally made stuffs are being sold at a higher price. This is another challenge. And as usual, everyone will go in for things with lesser price. Sometimes it's good to take quality over quantity. But 90% will go for quantity over quality. What we are saying is that we need more factories. We need more industries. This thing is going to help us. Some time ago, it was farmers who are into rice, maize. They were complaining that they've harvested their crops, but they are not getting buyers. They are not. And the government came in and said, okay, fine, since you are not getting buyers, then we will buy it from you and then we'll send it to our schools. But that is not a permanent solution. That is a temporal solution. How many bags of rice are you going to buy to ensure that the glut in rice has reduced? No. The best thing we can do is to get a warehouse. Buy from these farmers in large quantity. When we buy it in large quantity, already we have the factories and the industries and everything. We process it, then we start exporting our own locally made rice, locally made maize, tomato, onions, pepper and all that. And that is going to help us. But we want to continue importing, it's not helping us. And that is why we've had eight traders. It's sad though, 8. They are dead just like that. They didn't offend anybody, but they are dead. And I learned the tomato has been burnt into ashes as well. And even the people who tragically lost their life has burnt beyond recognition. So the earlier we take this serious, the better for us as a country. Now I want us to look at this. For us to strengthen our security borders and ensure that we don't see what we are seeing, there has to be a collaboration with international partners and local agencies to gather and share information. Ghana, we cannot do it alone. The best thing we can do is to collaborate with countries where we go to, judge on our business affairs. So that if something is happening, they can tip us. And that is going to help us. But if we want to base on a change, it won't help us. And another thing is to strengthen our border control to prevent the movement of terrorists and illicit goods. This is also important. And training and equipping security agencies to respond to threats. I've always been saying this, that the tactics that our security agencies are showing it's in the past. They need to upgrade. It's very serious and we need to resource them too. I've learned that these traders, when they are going out to other countries to import, we have escorts, but they don't escort them till they get there. They escort them to somebody and then they withdraw. We need to look at that as well because it's going to help us. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.
Thank you so much, Miss Debbie, for that grill. Thank you so much for joining us on the first segment of the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. We'll be going for the news shortly. Please stay with us.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the morning news update on Ghana Talks Radio. Coming up, the New Patriotic Party launches membership registration from March to September. Speaker of Parliament expresses disappointment over the absence of female candidates in the upcoming Ayawaso East by-election. Government pushes for 30% women representation in public institutions. Also coming up, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology artificial intelligence experts showcase innovations in tackling key challenges in mining, agriculture, energy and digital education. Ghana launches mining local content policy to boost local participation. Government urged to strengthen security network amidst Sahel insecurity concern. These and many more coming up your way shortly in business, sports and showbiz. To our first story, the opposition New Patriotic Party has released a detailed schedule for its nationwide reorganization process, outlining key activities from March to September 2026. The exercise, which is expected to restructure the party from the grassroots to the national level, will begin with a membership update and verification phase before moving into internal elections across polling stations, constituencies, regions, and external branches. According to the timetable, the party's membership registration will take place from March 1st to March 31st, 2026, allowing new members join and existing members to renew their status. This will be followed by a verification period from April 1st to April 14th, aimed at validating membership records and ensuring an accurate register ahead of internal elections. The New Patriotic Party will then commence its grassroots elections, starting with polling station elections scheduled for May 10th to May 16th, 2026. Next will be the electoral area elections set for June 10th to June 15th. As the party continues to its step-by-step leadership restructuring at the local level, the party's constituency elections will follow on July 11th to July 12th, after which regional executives will be elected during the regional elections planned for August 8th to 9th. The reorganization process will also include activities for the party's external branches and chapters scheduled for June 20th to 19th, with branch level elections expected to run into August. The exercise will culminate in the party's national elections and conference slated for September 18th to 20th, when national executives are expected to be elected.
NEC, which happens to be the third high decision-making body of the New Patriotic Party, received some recommendations from the steering committee and approved of the recommendations and forwarded same to National Council. At National Council, the recommendations were based on the timelines for the New Patriotic Party internal elections and the guidelines. Without wasting much time, I'll proceed to announce to the general public, the rank and file of our party, the timelines for the new Patriotic Party internal elections. The party begins our internal elections with the continuation of registration of members. If you all recall, somewhere in November 2025, I issued a memo to the constituency and regional party respectively to start our party registration at the various polling stations and further to organize polling station meetings. So we are continuing with that process, and that process starts from 1st of March to 31st March 2026. That will be registration of members. The data entry of members who have been registered shall be between 1st April to 10th April 2026. After data entry will be verification of registered members. That will be from 14th to 16th of April 2026. Once this exercise is completed, the party will kickstart our internal elections. It starts with opening and closing of nominations for polling station elections, which shall be between 20th to 24th April 2026. Vetting for polling station aspirants will be from 25th to 30th April 2026. Appeals will be from 1st to 4th May 2026. The notice of poll will be from 6th to 9th of May 2026. The elections of our polling station executives will be from 10th to 16th May 2026. Then data entry and validation of polling station executive album will be from 17th to 21st May 2026. When we are done with the polling station elections, we'll move straight to electoral area executive committee elections. Open and closing of nominations for electoral area elections shall be from 23rd to 25th of May 2026. The vetting will be from 26th to 31st May 2026. Then appeals will be received from 1st to 4th June 2026. Notice of poll will be from 5th to 8th June 2026. Elections of our electoral area executives will be from 10th to 15th June 2026. Then data entry and validation of electoral area executives will be from 16th to 20th June 2026. In all these activities, the responsible office for all these activities will be the Constituency Executive Committee and the Regional Steering Committee, with oversight responsibility by the National Secretariat.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has expressed disappointment over the absence of female candidates in the upcoming Ayawaso East by-election scheduled for March 3rd. He stated that he was ready to support women contesting political seats, emphasizing the need for greater gender inclusion in Ghana's political landscape. Bagbin's comments comes amid concerns about low representation of women in parliament, with the country ranking 137th out of 168 globally, according to the 2025 Interparliamentary Union report. The Speaker has been vocal advocate for gender equality, championing the Affirmative Action Act 2 2024, which aims to increase women's representation in public and private institutions.
Political parties are the gateways to representation. Parliament is the arena where representation becomes decision-making. Therefore, inclusion must begin in parties and mature in Parliament. I was waiting for any party to have fielded a female in the Adaosi East Bar election. And I was personally going to support the candidate because we need more of our women in Parliament. Unfortunately, the parties have disappointed me.
In related news, government has directed all public institutions to meet 30% women's representation target set by the Affirmative Action Act 2024 Act 1121, aiming to address gender imbalances. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajimine has pledged to increase this representation to 50% by 2030. The Affirmative Action Act sets clear targets for women's representation: 30% by 2026, 40% by 2028, and 50% by 2030. The law applies to appointment in public offices, governance positions, decision-making roles, and leadership positions across various sectors. According to the Vice President, women's participation is significant in policy formulation.
As we know, His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, continues to emphasize the importance of women to national development. Under his leadership, Ghana is committed to women's representation at the highest levels of governance and public service. His Excellency has directed that public service agencies ensure a minimum of 30% female representation in leadership positions by this year, with an increase to 50% by 2030. And Anna, thanks for giving the details of all of that. This directive is a deliberate policy measure to advance the objectives of the Affirmative Action Act and institutionalize gender equity as a cornerstone of our development agenda.
Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable Development project at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has showcased innovative solutions addressing pressing issues in mining, agriculture, energy, and digital education. The Artificial Intelligence for Sustainable Development Mini-Conference 2026 highlighted the project's achievement in leveraging artificial intelligence to drive sustainable development. The AI for Sustainable Development project, funded by the French Embassy, aims to harness AI for sustainable development, focusing on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The project's initiatives include establishing robotics clubs in senior high schools and promoting STEM education.
Our work has not been theoretical. In the past year, the AI for SD project has aggressively pursued solutions across critical sectors of the economy, and I'd like to share just a few of these. In the realm of agriculture and food security, which touches on SDG Goal 2, which says zero hunger, our team has developed a crop disease detection toolbox and a smart indigenous weather app. These tools are designed to boost farmer productivity by placing advanced predictive capabilities directly into the hands of farmers. Furthermore, we have farm demonstration projects underway to study plant disease in real time, bridging the gap between laboratory and the field. In terms of health and well-being, addressing SDG 3, we have made significant strides. We are developing AI-powered solutions to determine rare diseases in newborns and have created the MIC tool to cross-modality imaging to improve diagnostic accuracy. But perhaps one of our most inclusive achievements is the SciTalk project. To ensure no one is left behind, our team has released SciTalk Ghana dataset, a collection of over 10,000 Ghanaian Sign Language videos representing over 4,000 structured sentences in healthcare interactions. This data will allow deaf patients to communicate effectively in our consulting rooms. We are also tackling environmental challenges head-on. In our Clean Water Initiative, we are developing AI and sensors to monitor chemical stability and remove toxic heavy metals from water bodies polluted by illegal mining, known locally as galamsey. Similarly, in the energy sector, we are collaborating with a Ghana Great company to use AI to predict transformer faults, ensuring a more reliable energy supply for our economy. Finally, we cannot speak of the future without empowering the next generation. Under the SDG 4, Quality Education, we have established 15 robotics clubs in less privileged senior high schools across Ghana and donated 45 laptops to enhance their training.
Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa has announced a new mining local content policy aimed at increasing local participation in the mining sector. The policy unveiled at the inaugural 2026 Mining Local Content Summit in Takoradi seeks to ensure Ghanaians benefit more from the country's mineral wealth. The minister warns against fronting where foreign companies use Ghanaian names to meet regulatory requirements while retaining control. He emphasized that local content is not anti-investor but pro-partnership, highlighting opportunities for joint ventures. His Excellency the President, who attended the summit, stressed the need for Ghana to move beyond exporting raw minerals and build locally owned technology-driven mining industry.
The Minerals Commission has developed a mining local content and local procurement policy framework that prioritizes Ghanaian participation, not as an afterthought, but as a strategic imperative. The establishment of a special purpose vehicle to drive sustainable partnerships and industrialization is well underway. We are moving steadily and sure from policy to practice. But distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me pause here and speak plainly, because this is important. The platform we are trying to create, the great opportunity we are opening for Ghanaian participation, comes with a solemn warning. We frown on, we will not condone any form of cruelty using Ghanaians. Let me state it. The practice where foreign companies hide behind Ghanaians, using our people as mere marks to satisfy regulatory requirements, while retaining all the control and the benefit, is a theft of opportunity and a betrayal of everything this summit stands for. To my fellow Ghanaians, brothers, do not sell your birthright for crumbs when you can own your bakery.
You heard from Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. The National Democratic Congress has called on government to boost the country's security network to protect citizens from the growing insecurity threat in the Sahel region. Kotia Nuruddin, a member of the NDC communications team, says the situation across the Sahel cannot be underestimated, urging government to adopt a more comprehensive approach. Recent attacks on Ghanaian traders in Burkina Faso, including the killing of several individuals by the Jinim militants, have raised concerns about the country's vulnerability to terrorist activities. Security analysts have stressed the need for heightened alertness at Ghana's borders, citing the significance of international cooperation in combating terrorism.
We should not also lose sight of the fact that Sahel African countries, and more importantly, Burkina Faso and the rest.
Mali.
The issues of insecurity in those areas cannot be underestimated.
True.
We have had pockets of violence and other terrorist attacks within those areas. What government of Ghana has to do is to strengthen our security network, is to ensure that wherever our citizens are protected, and we strengthen our laws and make sure that it doesn't deteriorate our economic ties and our diplomatic ties with neighboring countries. And by so doing, it will inure to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaian, and we will be protected.
In business, the Aboso-Okai Spare Part Dealers Association has urged its members to remain calm and cooperate with the newly introduced tax policy following a meeting with the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon. In a statement issued after the engagement, the association said Ghana Revenue Authority clarified that the tax measure has already been passed into law and forms part of the country's existing legal framework. According to the association, the authority indicated that the policy will be monitored over a 6-month period to assess its effectiveness and practical impact. It was also explained that Parliament does not hastily repeal laws, as due process must be followed. The Ghana Revenue Authority assured the dealers that the objective of the policy is not to impose additional hardship on traders, but to ensure that taxes legitimately due to the state are properly paid. The structure of the system, including a 20% component, is intended to promote compliance and fairness. The association says there is no cause of arrest and announced all shops at Aboso-Okai will remain open on Monday with business activities continuing as usual. However, the group called for intensified public education on the new tax system, noting that only a small number of traders consistently meet their tax obligations, while many others do not. It said this situation places unfair burden on compliant traders when non-compliant operators record substantial turnovers. The association expressed optimism about the 6-month monitoring period and indicated its hopes the review process, which could inform discussions in Parliament and the media budget, will determine whether the policy should be maintained in its current form or adjusted. To support the monitoring process, a 6-member committee has been established comprising 3 representatives from the Ghana Revenue Authority. The committee will assess the impacts of tax policy and make recommendations. The Aboso-Okai Spare Part Dealers Association said it remains committed to constructive engagement with the authorities to ensure a fair, transparent and workable tax system for all traders. Also in business, latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that producer price inflation declined marginally to 1.6% in January 2026 from 1.9% recorded in December 2025. This represents a 0.3 percentage point drop. The figures released on February 18th indicates that on a year-on-year basis, the U.S. factory prices of goods and services increased by 1.6% between January 2025 and January 2026. The rate is also 26.9 percentage points lower than 28.5 recorded in January, reflecting a significant easing in producer price pressures over the past year. However, on a month-on-month basis, producer prices rose sharply by 3.3% in January 2026 compared to a contraction of 0.8% in December 2025. Sectoral data shows mixed trends across the economy. Mining, which carries the largest weight of 43.7%, recorded a year-on-year inflation rate of 3.7% in January 2026, up from 3.3% in December 2025, a 0.4 percentage point increase. In contrast, the manufacturing sector, which accounts for 35% of the index, saw inflation fall sharply to negative 2.2% in January from 0.1% in September 2025. Electricity and gas recorded a significant jump to 18.4% in January 2026 from 6.1% in December. Similarly, water supply and waste management rose to 9.9% from 2.3% over the same period. The transport and storage sub-sector continued its downward trend, with inflation declining further to negative 6.9% from 3.7% in December 2025. Accommodation and